Hey Scrappy Peeps, it's Suzanna here today, and I'm sharing with you a layout I created using that particular stamp set. It's called the Wonder Stamp from this month's latest release over at Elles Studio. So believe it or not, this layout is created solely with that one 6x6 piece of pattern paper right there, and I'm going to pull all the colors from that, and that is going to be the header of the layout. I am using a selvage strip from the Noteworthy collection, and you can see those rainbow colors spots down the bottom there. I have converted 6 photos from our spring break into black and white so that they do not compete with the rainbow colors. And so this is sort of a summary. This is the title page for our spring break. You can see I have a little white space there between the photos, the collage of photos, and that really bothers me, so I shifted it up. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these phrases from the Wander stamp set, and I'm going to create a border down the bottom that selvage strip will then go on top of. And so I've pulled colors here that coordinate with the rainbow colors, and I am not obviously doing them in any rainbow order. I'm just using those colors, and you can also see from the stamp sets that I have no particular allegiance. If it works, I bought it. If it's a color that I saw at a store, I bought it. It may be something that I got in a kit, but most of them are dye inks. And so I do actually clean off the stamps between each stamping. I just omit that, otherwise the video becomes incredibly long. But so I've used the words that are relevant. Adventure, the details, happy moment, Instagrammed, favorite, and then I repeat 2 of the words in some of the colors, and I do try and do them in different colors and different words just for a little bit of variety. And that is going to be the bottom of the page, so the footer of the page, and then I'm going to use those circles. You had seen that I did pull out the Shapes and Dots puffy stickers that come in this month's add-ons. I had thought of maybe using those dots between each of the words to go with the dots that are in that strip. However, the dots were a little bit bigger than the words, and it wasn't quite the effect. I wanted something just a little bit smaller, and I also realized as I had them there that they were going to compete with that strip, and so I decided that was the rationale that I had for not using what I thought I was going to use. So you can see in the top left there of my workspace, I have pulled a bunch of labels. So this particular label is actually one of the cards that you can get this month. It's the pastel label journaling tags. So I'm going to cut the actual label, and I'm going to use that. So if you decide that you are going to scrap lift this layout and recreate my process here, I suggest you use an alternative process. I ripped up that strip because I tried pulling it up and I had used my ATG, and that is a very strong adhesive. It ripped the paper. So what I should have done was I should have put all the labels down and then covered the bottom of the labels with the strip instead of doing the approach that I am taking, and that is I'm going to have to cut off the bottom of all of the labels, which is fine. It works. It's just the more labor-intensive way of going about this. So I have here a mix of those journaling tags, the print and cut labels, labels from the April kit, and and also the labels that are also part of the add-on that are the every month Elles Studio has labels that you can add to the add-on as well. So I actually have those in here as well, the April labels. So I'm just using, what I'm doing here is I'm again trying to put them in that rainbow order, and I am, well, it's not really rainbow order, in that colored order, so somewhat similar to the colors that I've used moving across at the bottom of the page. And then I have a few little embellishments that are from the kit, from the die cuts in the April kit, that I'm interspersing here. So you see how it's just one piece of pattern paper, the selvage strip, and then all of that is just labels and stamps. I wanted a little bit of black down the bottom for some contrast, so you'll see how I add that black in there. Now what I've got is I have the butterfly, the large butterfly from the Wander stamp set. This is such a wonderful stamp set. There's so much you can do with all of those different size butterflies. And what you don't see me do in the layout, but I actually do use the flowers as well, just for a little added sprinkling of color down the bottom there. So I'm now going to take each of those same stamp colors, and I'm going to stamp that rainbow of butterflies underneath the photos. And I just love how it pulls the color from the top of the page to the flitting rainbows that move across just underneath the pictures to the stamps that are down the bottom as well. So I should have stamped the yellow first. That did sort of muck up the stamp a little bit. So what I did there was I just stamped off the color. I should have stamped it off a little bit better. Even though I had cleaned the stamp, there was still ink on the stamp. And so here I'm stamping off the yellow just to check the color. And then I'm going to finish. So one of the colors I did not use down the bottom was orange, and I really only have this rusty orange, which is fine because when you look in the striped pattern paper, the orange that's there is sort of more of that rusty orange. So that's what I've got going on there. And I like the way that the butterfly fills those spaces because the white gaps were starting to bug me a little bit. So I have committed to that. And I'm not sure why I waited to adhere the photos down. And funnily enough, I ended up adhering the photos in a slightly different way than I had originally set them down. And I actually liked them the way that I first had them, but that's the way that it goes. And so that's the way it's going to be. See how I raised that one up there. And so there is a much larger space between that green butterfly and the bottom of the photo. And you see, I tried to fill that there. I did notice it. So I am going to use this yellow tag, but it's going to end up being shifted. And again, I just like the way that the yellow tag kind of breaks up some of that, the top of that page there. And that little arrow word says here. I know that's very hard to read. And so now I'm kind of looking at I really wanted to use these script words that say wander and explore, but I wasn't sure. I didn't really want them to be in the same line. I really wanted them to fit in the labels. And I could get one to fit in the label, but I couldn't get the other one to fit in the label. So that's why I end up stamping above the labels. And the labels just end up kind of being this nice white space down the bottom of the page there. So I figured out the placement of them, and I'm going to stamp them. And I love the way that the black at the bottom just kind of creates some balance between that heavy black up the top and then the little bit of splash of black that's going to be down the bottom there. I am also going to use the star from this stamp set, this Wander stamp set, you guys. If there's any stamp set that you're looking for, I definitely, this is one that you can use over and over and over and over again. And you could use it for project life pages. You can a scrapbook page just like I've done here. So what I had there was, those are the phrase stickers that come with this month. If you do the add-on, they are the days of the week phrase stickers. And I put Monday on that purple butterfly and I pulled it off, but off camera, I end up putting Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all the days of the week on each of those butterflies there. I lied. I don't end up using Sunday because Sunday was a day that we flew home, so it wasn't a day really full of activities. So these are not part of this month's release, but they are available in the store. They're the Jane Alpha stickers, and I just put spring break, and then I use the little asterisks. They're the puffies. And again, just for the weight of the black down the bottom to balance everything out. So that, my friends, other than the flower, I am going to use the flowers. So if you look in the close-ups, you'll see the flowers again for just a little added splash of color, and it added some variation of some height to that. I also did put a huge block of journaling. I typed that on my laptop and then just ran it through on an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper and then cut it to fit into that space there. So enjoy the close-ups. I hope you've enjoyed this process video, and if you are inspired by any of my layouts and you do scrapbook them, I would love for you to share and tag me in those layouts, because I've seen a lot of them cropping up lately. So enjoy the rest of your day. I hope you're doing well. Take care.